Have you ever wondered if it's safe or accurate to label yourself with a condition like ADHD or autism without a professional diagnosis? When we talk about our self diagnosing conditions like autism or ADHD, it's really important to understand why this isn't just invalid, but can also be dangerous. Diagnosing these conditions involves a lot more than just recognizing a few symptoms that seem to fit you. Conditions like autism and ADHD are incredibly complex. They involve a mix of symptoms that can overlap with other conditions like anxiety, depression, or trauma. And because of this complexity, it's not just about ticking off a checklist of symptoms. Now, why is a professional diagnosis key? Well, professionals such as psychologists have specific training, many years of specific training, and they learn how to use tools that help them make accurate diagnoses. They spend years, like I said, learning how to differentiate one condition from another, something that can't be matched by online research or a self assessment. Professionals are trained to understand the nuances of these disorders and can provide the most accurate diagnosis along with the most effective treatment and support strategy. This way, we're not just guessing about what's going on with us. We're really understanding and addressing it properly. A trained professional offers an objective perspective that is crucial for a valid diagnosis. It's hard for us to be completely objective about ourselves because our personal feelings and biases and beliefs and experiences can cloud our judgment. And without professional guidance, the risk of misdiagnosis is high. Misidentifying one's condition can lead to choosing treatments or supports that aren't just ineffective, but could potentially worsen the situation. I know that long wait times are a catalyst for a lot of this, and many defend the idea of self diagnosis because of the long wait periods, assessed or financial restrictions that make getting an assessment simply unaffordable. A self diagnosis is not the answer. Instead, it's more honest to say your ADHD or autism is pending diagnosis. For some, the need for clarity and belonging causes them to jump the gun and just take control of the diagnosis so they can confidently include themselves in the neurodivergent community. I've known people who convince themselves they have a particular diagnosis, and when finally assessed by a professional, are told it's something else. Then they exit that appointment, convince the doctor is wrong, and reach out to their community, fellow self diagnosers, for validation, and they often receive it. And if you don't see the harm in this, well, I simply don't know what to tell you. Another danger is the delay in receiving the right kind of help. By assuming one has a certain condition without professional evaluation, one might miss out on accessing the correct interventions that could really help manage or improve the situation. Also, there are risks in terms of self perception. Identifying with a diagnosis without professional input might affect a person's self esteem or how they view their own potential and future. So, what's the alternative? I understand how it feels to be alone, misunderstood most of the time, and like it's you versus the world because no one gets you. Finding a community with many of the characteristics you have can create an overwhelming need to belong with folks who might get you and give you answers that you've been longing for. You can get that support from the neurodivergent community by explaining you're curious and eager to learn more, but that you are pending diagnosis. Self diagnosing and holding that decision on par with a medical diagnosis is naive. Self diagnosis simply doesn't hold up against the rigorous standards needed for a valid and reliable diagnosis. It's always better to seek professional advice when possible to ensure accurate understanding and appropriate support. If a professional diagnosis is likely years away for some, seek the tools and articles on the specific challenges you experience so you can learn to manage them. Things like how to remember better, how to manage your impulses, how to regulate your emotions. There's information like that out there. You can find it and do your best to apply it. In fact, one of the ways you can get help is by working with me, and no one needs a formal diagnosis to work with me. I only need to know where they struggle. And we can work on strategies to manage, work around, or overcome that struggle. If you're navigating these waters and seek clarity or validation, don't isolate yourself in the echo chambers of self diagnosis. Let's talk, reach out to me, and together, let's explore the proper steps for genuine understanding and support. Your journey deserves the right guidance, and I'm here to help you take those steps. Thanks for being you.